Hello, welcome to the soap series. Hope everybody's having a good day today and good night tonight. It's Winner's Wednesday, as we know in Genoa City. Unfortunately, we don't have a winner with us right now. Kristoff has not called in yet, so we're waiting for him. So do hang tight while we get him on the air with us. Yeah.
I sent out part of our team to go tweet him, too.
Yes, Team Soap Series. Go out and tweet them, Facebook them. Let him tell him, because he knows about it, because he's retweeted and tweeted me saying, and tweeted different fans saying he couldn't wait to be able to talk to them and et cetera. So,
yeah, he's either running late or he's got the time wrong, I would imagine.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah. So, all righty. Well, fans of Young and Restless, since I have you on the air with us and you're listening because you're loyal and you love your Young and Restless, I would suggest you go and follow Nelson Bronco and purchase his new copy of his weekly ebook called Soap Opera Uncensored, because this week he has a fascinating interview with Laura Lee Bell, whom we will have on June 27th on our program. And there's a great interview there with Laura Lee Bell, so definitely check that out. There's a lot of great information and behind-the-scenes stuff that's going on that is really exciting. Let's see here. Hold on just a second. Hi, this is Doug. Who's holding?
Hello?
Hello? Okay. Sorry, guys that are listening. This is the second night in a row that we're starting off, and now it gets me all off my track. Let me get the name of this person real quick. Area code 678. This is Doug. Who's holding?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How you doing?
Good. I was calling to get your name if you wanted to talk to Kristoff.
My name is Mandy.
All right. Perfect. Thank you. We'll be with you in a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks. I sent it to your Facebook. Okay. Hi, this is Doug. Who's holding?
Hello?
Okay. Well, somebody from Los Angeles is calling but not responding to me. If that's you, Kristoff, press 1. Or they could just be a silent fan from Los Angeles. Okay. So anyway, I'll get back to tell you about that. But anyway, I was just reading the interview with Laura Lee Bell, who plays Christine Blair on Young and Restless, and there's some great stuff coming up. So I'm anxious to talk to her when we talk to her on our show on the soap series on June 27th. All right. There's a few more people that called in, so let me go ahead and get their names real quick while we're waiting for Kristoff. Area code 410, this is Doug. Who's holding?
Dorothy.
All right. Thank you, Dorothy. We'll be with you in just a little bit, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Area code 843, this is Doug. Who's holding?
It's Donna.
Hi, Donna. Thank you for calling. We'll be with you in just a little bit, okay?
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Oh, well, that's lovely to be listening to me talk to people getting their names. But I don't feel like
I wonder if he's in a dead zone. That happens too, especially in L.A.
Yeah.
With his phone, maybe it was him trying to call and we just couldn't hear him, or he couldn't hear us.
Well, let me try it again. This is Doug. Who's holding? Hello?
In such a bad mood today, too. This is like the last thing he wants to be on.
Hello?
Okay.
Somebody's there.
Somebody's there, but they're not listening. Okay, well, 818. I got you on the phone, but you weren't listening to me. Maybe you're just in Los Angeles yourself. Well, we have a lot of callers. Oh, we don't have the one caller that we need. I just happened to look up at the TV, and guess who's on my TV? It is Shamar Moore is on my television right now, so that must mean that Criminal Minds is on.
Criminal Minds, yeah.
Because he is running all over the place on my screen on the credits.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. Criminal Minds. Great show.
All right, well, that was coincident. I would love to get him on our show.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But to get a hold of him would be, it's kind of tough because he's not on Twitter or Facebook officially, so we'd have to work our magic to see if we can get that. Let's see here. Okay, well, let's just go on with some soap chat until we get him on the phone. I'm kind of just off my kilter tonight because when we don't start off the right way, it throws my alignment all off, and my questions and my professionalism and everything is out the door because I'm not on track. So if you're a first-time listener, definitely come back for future shows.
Yeah.
We don't have this happen very often. It happened yesterday, but we got Andrea on right after. If you missed yesterday's interview with Andrea Bogart, she was a great little interview and learned so much about her, and she's a distant relation, like 10th cousins or something, to Humphrey Bogart. Interesting. So, she was good. Then tomorrow we have on Jason Spitzer, who is a soap opera event coordinator and ex-actor and behind-the-scenes kind of guy. He's going to talk with us. And then Friday we have added Kyle Lowder, who played Rick Forrester previous to Jacob Young coming back. And then we also have, he also played Brady Black, and he's also on Vanity coming up. So he's going to be on Friday's show. Let's see here. Oh, Kristoff, where could you be? Okay, today in Genoa City was good. Ricky is right there. He's getting there to take down Phyllis. So Phyllis is going to be taken down a notch or two, and Ricky's right on track. And we saw Dr. Tim Reed return today, and he was in a place with a bunch of boxes. I don't know what that was all about, if he's moving or... But it was nice to see him after all these years. Fans may remember he also went over to Bold and the Beautiful. He was on Bold and the Beautiful as the same character. If anybody in the chat room can reflect on if he played who he was involved with over there, was it Sheila Carter? I can't remember who he was involved with on being a therapist for on Bold and the Beautiful. So let me know in the chat room. Those who are asking about Kimberlyn Brown, we've been trying to get her for a long time. I've sent her a personal email, a tweets and manager, and also to her home address. So we're trying to get her. A lot of people want to get her on, and we're trying. So okay. Well, Pam, do you have anything to say? We don't have our guests, so...
No, but my dog does. Did you hear her?
Yeah.
Well, what'd you think of Y&R today? I liked the scene with Jack and with Nikki. I always want to call her Melody, and it's usually vice versa, where you want to call them by the character name.
Yeah.
I like when they were sitting together with the baby. It was cute. But then when, what's her name, Crazy Daisy, was talking to Michael, Damien, about having the connection, it's like she obviously doesn't know the history, that it's not really, he's not really his son, that Daniel's not really his son by blood.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought it was funny when they called him Grandpa.
Yeah, he kind of looked up like, no, did you just see that I got done banging Christine upstairs like a young man?
Oh, my God, yeah.
Okay, let's see. I think we may have somebody on the phone for us. Who's holding?
Hi, it's Kristoff calling in, you guys. I'm so sorry I couldn't get cell phone signal coverage until just now.
That's what we were saying. And we said, well, you might be in a dead spot or something, or running late. So we totally understand.
Yeah, I apologize profusely. I kept trying to dial out, and that's modern technology sometimes takes over us, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the soap series. We're very, very pleased and happy that you can be with us tonight. Your fans are really excited. There's a bunch of people on hold to talk to you in a little bit, and we've got a lot of people in the chat room who are very excited. It's Winner's Wednesday, as they call it, and perfect timing to have you on a Wednesday as well.
Well, thanks, actually, I was thrilled to be a part of your show, and I've heard a lot about it on Twitter and from people that are Texas about stuff to say, so I'm excited about it myself.
Oh,
thank you.
Thank you for letting us know that, too.
Yeah. Well, Kristoff, I actually met you down in Tampa earlier this year, and we had the same tattoo, the Eye of Horus, and you stopped me and you said, I got that too, and then you pulled up I think it's on your left arm, you pulled up your shirt sleeve, and you showed me, and we had the same tattoo. You just had yours on your bicep. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do remember it, of course.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know. I know that day was so crazy hectic. There was so many people there, and it was just kind of got organized a little bit, and everybody was everywhere. So I know you met a lot of people that day, and but it was a blast to be able to have that few minutes with you. Everybody was trying to tug at you when you guys were all trying to leave. We didn't want you to leave.
Yeah, it was a nice afternoon. I mean, for the most part, I do know that there was some division. There was some interesting issues that came up later in the afternoon, but for the most part, I thought the fans were, pretty happy and excited, and but you're right, there were some organizational issues.
Yeah. So next time, I want to see you, and I hope it's at a better organized place. But hey, I still had the moment I had that moment with you, so that's all. That's all.
I was going to say you got more than I did. I haven't met him yet, so I'm jealous.
Well, we're meeting now over the phone. How's that?
Right. But it's not the same. You need to come to Chicago.
Yeah, Windy City. I've been there for a minute. Last time I was there, I was shooting for an NBC soap called Generations, and it was the dead of winter in the middle of December, and my character had to jump into the water right from Navy Pier.
Oh, no.
So, they had a stuntman do the actual jump into the water, but it was so cold. He took 2 strokes and just ended up, calling for help. Had the Coast Guard there. But, cold, windy city, Chicago. I know it well.
Well, please do visit us in the summertime. It's a big difference.
Oh, yeah. Lakeshore in the summer is fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow, speaking of generations, that seems like a generation ago where we first, you got introduced to the soap world, and what a great show that was. Sadly, it didn't last, for a long time like all the other soaps did, but with that leaving, it opened up the opportunity to move to Genoa City and become Winners. So what was that transition like, being on a show like Generations, where it was a predominantly black cast, which is very not, you don't see that very often on daytime. We would like more diversity to go from Generations to go to a Bill Bell soap on Young and Restless.
Yeah, well, here's the thing about Generations, man. I'm glad you brought that up because it was a fantastic show to work on. A great cast, good people, excellent writing. There were some, problems, as all shows have. But, what people think is that it was an all-black or close to all-black cast. It really wasn't. It was a fully integrated soap. It just happened to be that one of the families was a black family, and I'm thankful for it. I was one of the leads of the show, but it was tough because we were always in the shadow of all the other soaps. I mean, we were in last place the entire run, and we were battling, I think, against, I can't remember if it was Loving or which show, Santa Barbara, for the 11th spot or 12th spot, but. Isn't that interesting in itself, man? I mean, that long ago we had 13 shows on air, and now we dwindled down to 4. That's a whole other topic. Well, I'm sure we'll get into that. But, it was a tough transition, actually, because I didn't want the show to end, and I really didn't see, the reason why NBC was canceling the show. None of us did. And, after Warren Littlefield stood on the set of Stage 9 of Generations, and announced in a press conference that we were his grandmother's favorite show. We weren't going anywhere. That should be the kiss of death, man, because 3 weeks later we had our walking papers. And so, it was a tough transition because, I didn't really, the number one show I was very excited to be a part of. But I also didn't know how my character would be accepted into the Genoa City landscape. I knew where I was in Generations. I was one of 4 or 5 core characters, and I didn't know what the workload was going to be like. And so once, it's a pretty. I'll give you the short story. When I found out that Generations was being canceled, I actually called over to CBS in the Young and the Restless office, and I told them that I would love to come in and meet the creator, executive producer of the show, head writer Bill Bell Sr., to see if he'd like to hire me to be on his show. It was a bold move, but I wanted to gain employment, man. I had a kid that he was about 2 years old at the time, and I didn't want to be in the unemployment line. So I actually got the meeting with Bill. I went in and sat in front of him. It happened to be the first day that the U.S. made a strike on Baghdad, a military strike on Baghdad. And we sat in his office and watched this Atari-like game, which it really wasn't. It's war, man. But, if you recall, the screen was sort of green with the night light and the infrared, whatever they were using. Yeah. And we just sat in awe watching that for about 15 long minutes. And then at a certain point, Bill turned off the television and he said, "So, how would you like to be a part of The Young and the Restless?" And I thought it was such a strange segue.
Yeah.
But fighting for a job is nothing like fighting for one's country. but man, I was really excited to hear those words, and I absolutely accepted the offer, and we got into business, and that was 21 and a half years ago, man.
Is it that long already? Wow.
Yeah, it's been that long.
It doesn't seem like it. You've been such a huge part of Y&R, but you just don't think of the years, because you watch it daily, and it just every day goes by. You don't think, okay, another year, another year, another year. That's amazing.
I gotta give Y&R credit for one thing. Way back when, I remember holding up in my dressing room at NBC, and when I was working on Generations with a couple of different people, Kelly Rutherford and Janelle Allen, and we would watch The Young and the Restless to see what the number one show was putting out there. And it was just by far the sexiest, most colorful, most beautiful show that was on in terms of daytime television, daytime soap operas. And it was apparent that other shows were attempting to emulate, but no one could come close. So that was the huge bonus in the cancellation of Generations, and not knowing my future, stepping into a new arena that I knew was tried and true, and they had already turned number one, and they weren't going anywhere, And so I felt like I walked into sort of like the golden era heyday of Y&R. It just started when I got there about a year prior, 2 years maybe at the most. The mid to late 80s when they were fighting for that number one position with General Hospital and all my kids going back and forth.
Right. Now, was it the first time that you met Debbie Morgan was on Generations?
Nah, Debbie Morgan and I, we met back in 1977 or 8. I can't remember. You know what? The years, man. Talking about the last 21 years. Now we're going back into the 70s. But we worked on it. Maybe it was 79. It might have been 78, pushing 79. We were working on Roots, too, the next generation together.
Yeah.
She was cast, and I was cast in her family. I played young Alex Haley, and I had the honor of working with a great cast, Debbie Morgan included. Man, it was, and she was just such a young little thing, and such a fine actress, man. A lot of respect for Debbie, way back then, as I do today. Just such a far out person, man, inside and out.
Yeah. That has to be great to be able to go from Roots to Generations, and then 20 years later you get to have her as a possible love interest on your home soap.
Well, yeah, but if you look at the you look at the life of worked with her when I was 12, and then worked with her again on Generations. She played my sister on that, and now, having her on Young and the Restless, it's almost incestuous, man. I look at her and go,
right?
It's part of my family. Yeah, definitely, man. We're having a good time. I'm glad that Debbie is on the show, and it's getting more and more interesting as the months develop. And I can't tell you too much, but I know there's some pretty obvious stuff coming that the fans figure out quick, man. If the fans are running the show, wouldn't that be interesting to have a soap that was totally controlled by the fans, for the fans, by the fans, and you call it something like head writer. I've been thinking about an idea like that. Oops, look, I just let it go on national satellite radio. Shoot, I shouldn't have done that.
Oh, that's funny though. But you know what? In a way, we have a big voice in the soap world, and us soap fans are so loyal. We follow, cast members from different shows to different shows. We're there from you for day one, and just like Pam and I, and the reason why we do our show is because we're fighting to save the remaining 4 shows and to show that soaps do matter. And also, by making some dreams come true for fans to be able to talk to their favorite as well as Pam and I being able to have the chance to spend an hour with people as well. But soaps are so important, and so with the invention of, back in the day it was snail mail, but then message boards came around, and then now it's Twitter and Facebook and the comment lines and stuff. So I don't know how much Maria and the team or any writers from any of the shows really listen, but when we see certain stuff develop on screen, it's like, okay, they're listening to us. I know they are, because, for example, this right now in Genoa City, we have Phyllis is getting ready to be scrutinized for that 20-year-old crime that she did when she tried to hit cricket back in the day. And we've been talking about that for fans for many years. So they're listening to us, I think, and I believe it. Now, if they could only get Drusilla off that branch and bring her back up, she's been hanging out there for a while. Have you went to go look for her?
Oh, it's funny, man. I was listening to you thinking I didn't know where exactly the question or the comment was going, but when you finish, it leads to Drusilla. It all leads back to Drew, doesn't it? Man. Well, as we all know, first of all, let me address soap fans being very smart, intelligent, television viewers, man. They what they want to watch, and if head writers, paid closer attention, then they would not put certain characters together.
Right.
But again, it's all. We can't live without each other. It's a give and take. And, I think it's a tough job to be sitting in that chair for Maria, Rena Bell, and company.
Are you there?
There? Hello, you still there?
Yeah. Did you drop us on our head?
Something. You still there?
Yeah.
Okay. So with that in mind, you got to respect that it takes a lot of work, a team of writers, to not only come up with the appropriate storylines, but execute them and keep them running long term. And I think they're pretty quick to take away certain elements that are negative. If they're too negative, they tend to let certain storylines drag out. It's not my job. I am the actor. I'm asked to, memorize my lines, suit up, show up, and do what I'm supposed to do. And that for me is paramount. Do I like to write myself? Yeah. Do I like to write for the show? No. But I do in a way. I'm one of the writing team because, I tend to take some material and make it work so that it fits in my mouth properly. And you'll hear, most of the actors say that. I'll speak for me. I look at it and, I'll memorize it word for word, and then I'll go back through it and change it and, make it sing. Because it's really music. And at the end of the day, this is what I like to say, at the end of the day, it's all about wait till the music is put on it because that's when it's really going to work.
Right.
So, that's true, but tough job, man. I wouldn't want to have it being the head writer of a soap opera.
Yeah. When Neil was introduced in, I think it was 91, you were part of working with Victoria Rao, Tanya Lee, and Nathan, who played Nathan Hastings. That was such a great quadrangle that was developed then, and there was so much love for those characters. Sadly, Drusilla has, quote, died, because I don't believe she's dead. And then Olivia comes to town, and Nathan, I don't know where Nathan, I forget where Nathan went. He just kind of left and hasn't been back since. You should call him up and bring him back to Genoa City to catch up with him. But that was such a great love quadrangle back then. And I must say, Neil's been through so much in his years, but I must say, when you went through the alcoholism storyline, that was some of the best work I've seen you do. That was such a great storyline, and anytime someone tackles it, such as Melody Thomas Scott, as she recently has reprised that part of her history, is such a great root of the storyline telling there, and you did such a great job with that. Do you have any memories from that storyline, or did you have any? Where did you grasp and get that emotion to play that part of Neil's history?
From a lot of drinking, let me tell you. Man, it took a lot of fits to get that one in motion. Thank you for your compliment, man. I appreciate that. And it was an exciting time for me, too, on the show. If memory serves me correctly, that was back in 2002, 2003. And it's always just such a wonderful challenge to get a storyline where, to use the phrase "sink your teeth into," alcoholism, any kind of mental illness, amnesia, maybe, I don't know. Not playing twins, although maybe, because then you get to star opposite yourself, when you go to work, and then win maybe possibly more Emmys. But I had a marvelous time during that year, and it carried on for about 6 months. From start to finish, and the one thing that I regret is that it closed so quickly. The character went from almost extreme alcoholism, falling down in the street in the gutter almost, to being clean and sober within a week, and preaching about the program, and really hasn't had a battle since. Relapse is part of alcoholism, and I would have hoped that by this time, Neil would have managed to somehow find the bottle again, in a humorous, dark way, but that wasn't meant to be. And I think they went there briefly when Drew died, and we all thought, well, is Neil going to escape back into the alcohol? But that didn't occur. So, it's like candy, man. It's a really wonderful time to go to work, and I didn't have to shave. I grew a large Rip Van Winkle beard. I did a shower. I did the Mickey Rourke actor studio method thing. Where. Hold on 1 second. I got my 9-year-old who's asking me to sign something. What would you like me to sign, Lola? And what is this? Just sign it, but it's something from school. I don't know what I'm signing. What is it? No, sign it. Just sign it. Just sign it. Okay, so for those listening, just sign it. That's the word phrase of the day. Just sign it. Okay. We will. Oh, now I need to sign something else. Yes, we need to sign this.
How adorable.
Yeah. You do know when you see that on TV, it's usually for a detention, so let's hope it's not that.
Yes. This one happens to be, yes, Lola will be able to attend the awards night on, well, you want to go? Yes. Oh, what is it? You're going to get an award? Yes, what? Man, ain't you something? That's my girl.
Congratulations.
Oh, that's great.
What place on the science fair? Okay.
Look, second semester, fourth place science fair.
Okay, great. Thank you, baby. I love you. Okay, go play with Zoe. Have a great time. I love you, honey. Okay, bye. Hey, listen, for all you out there, that's a slice of a family Americana.
Right?
Wow. It's incredible going through the kid years, the childhood years again with Lola, because the other two are grown. I got one who's 22, my son Julian, and then I've got a 20-year-old Paris, a girl, and Lola is 9, and just such a precocious girl, very into her friends and technology, as most kids are, but knows when she's supposed to put it down and, do what she's supposed to. So I couldn't be.
Is she a girly girl?
More of a tomboy. You know, you can give her a Barbie, but she's probably going to end up, digging in the backyard with it and making it a Barbie. You know, seriously, yeah. She's more of a boy. She's a tomboy. You know, she loves her gymnastics. She loves her sports. You know, and loves her iPad. I mean, that's the tool. See, way back when it was phone time for us. At least that's what it was for me. You know, I could use the phone as long as everything was cool, but I could only use it in 10-minute, increments.
Right.
And call waiting. What was that? And that's why 10-minute increments. Right? So now the kids, I threaten with the iPad and say, well, you are not going to be able to do jungle crawl, whatever it is. And she goes, oh, okay. Yeah, so, it is what it is, man. I'm having a great time with it.
Well, they definitely keep you young, so it's a good thing.
Children are the fountain of youth, but you know what they say. What is it? The youth is wasted on the youth.
Yes, that's so true.
Yeah.
Right?
Since you have a young one still, what does she think about, or has she ever seen Daddy on TV, and what does she think about that?
Well, I mean, like what just happened, she has no idea that I'm on the phone doing an interview, and that it's, satellite radio, or, she's kind of oblivious to, and that's just the way I like it.
Right.
To do work that I'm doing. It isn't really, programming for children, The Young and the Restless. I mean, it does have some great storylines that could help, in fact, do, and are beneficial, do help children. But for the most part, I would have to say that I wouldn't want her to sit in front of, a soap opera at this age. She's got plenty of time. No, she doesn't. I take that back. She doesn't have plenty of time to watch soap operas, because by the time she's at that age, I mean, dare we say that, the soap genre will be in its grave. I don't want to sound maudlin or dark about it, but indeed,
well, not if we could help it.
Yeah, indeed, it feels like the last days, just based on, what we're watching with the recession, with the businesses that are going down, large corporations, big America, so. But I think we can squeeze some good years out of it. I mean, what do you think? 5, maybe 10 years?
We're hoping on that, and if not longer. I mean, we're trying really hard to get the soap-dedicated cable channel, and, like SoapNet should have been, instead of going on to be, Disney Junior for a lot of the cable companies right now. I still have SoapNet in Chicago with the soaps rerunning in the evening, which is good, but I don't know how much longer that's going to be. So let's just hope that we can get the soaps onto a channel and people follow and keep watching.
Yeah. With SoapNet being canceled, it doesn't look good. Right?
Yeah.
I know, but we still have hope. We still see that light at the end of the tunnel, and maybe it's wishful thinking, but we're not going to give up without a fight, that's for sure.
And the one thing I just wanted to say, that's okay. I just wanted to say real quick, and there was a little bit of proof there, because the Revolution got canceled, and because we fans refused to watch the Revolution, and the ratings were so bad that it could have been One Life to Live this last 6 months on the air instead of the Revolution. So there's a little bit of hope there at ABC to keep General Hospital on the air for another extended period amount of time. I don't foresee CBS shows being in any danger in the immediate future, because Young and Restless has been number one, and the Bell legacy has been around for so long, and I really think that Genoa City and Los Angeles with Bold and the Beautiful and Young and Restless can last a long time. I just hope and pray that we can keep them on for as long as possible, and keep you, the actors, giving us what we love to watch every day. I mean, there's enough cooking channels. There's cooking channels for these cooking shows to go on to. They don't need to take up our daytime, where it's been generational for 50, 60, 70 years of radio and television soap operas, where our grandparents and parents have watched it. And I know it's a different time, and maybe it's just because we're old. It's just, the kids today just want to watch Kardashians, and it's just, that is the trash compared to good scripted television, to a fantasy world to get away to, instead of a reality world that we face every day.
Well said. Well put, my man. It's true. You know, the CBS, I mean, the lineup that we have now, it used to be Guiding Light and Another World, As the World Turns. No, not Another World, As the World Turns. And, you know, we're down to Bold and the Beautiful and Young and the Restless. Both shows, the Bell family name, it's a dynasty. Been around for, you know, a long time. And I think, you know, it's really, it's up to CBS and the licensing agreement that's struck, and Sony. There's a number of different people involved.
Right.
And but I do believe that there's a lot more story to tell, you know, being on the inside looking out and then also being on the outside looking in. There's a lot more story with the characters that we currently have, and I'm sure there's going to be new characters that are developed. You know, we're not going anywhere right now. And you know, we're in place, I know, until the end of 2013 or something like that. So we'll just keep telling the stories that we're telling.
Yeah.
Well, I'm grateful to Young and the Restless for another reason, too, for bringing Debbie Morgan and Darnell Williams over there. I mean, I've watched them on All My Children forever and a day. And when that was canceled and One Life to Live was canceled, you know, it just tore me up.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have Darnell on our show. He's such a good-spirited guy. Great actor. Just has his award accolades and brings a lot of cachet. Debbie and Darnell bring a lot of cachet to the show. And,
right.
You know, it's nice to work with heavyweights, what I like to call heavyweights. And,
right.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd be able to get used to them being a different character, but they're so talented that it's so easily believable.
And that is why we are thespians. We are
That's right.
You know, I wanted to just briefly touch on the oversaturation of the channels that we have, and really on television anyway, and really where it began, where it started. If you think back to the early mid '90s, there was an event that occurred that shell-shocked the nation and had all of us glued to our television sets in awe.
O.J. Simpson.
Right. O.J. Simpson.
Right.
So can we candidly talk? Can we say that O.J. was possibly single-handedly responsible for the demise of things, including daytime television?
Yes, I do say that glove did fit.
Yeah, but I mean, all kidding aside, it did take a hit, after the low-speed chase and the trial, and then audience members really, honestly, certain people never came back. And then we really started pushing all these, satellite channels. That was the mid-'90s to the late '90s. And by the end of the '90s, you had to have a dish. Everyone had a dish that was cool. The next-door neighbors, the Smiths, had a satellite dish. So it was no longer cable. And, so to choose from, a crime channel, a cooking channel, a soap channel, I mean, seriously, come on. There's just too much. It's oversaturation. And that's what's happened everywhere. I go to my local video store that is just being boarded up, and you go, well, it's supply and demand. What people are doing now is you get digital downloads. You go up to Netflix or, you get your digital downloads, so you don't have to leave the house. It's a fast food nation that we live in.
Right, and they also need to learn. They need to find a way to better track the ratings of the people that are viewing, because it is on the web, and it is on SoapNet, and it is on a phone, and various different ways to watch TV. That they need to find a different way, because Nielsen is not doing it.
Right, of course. Well, yeah, you're treading dangerous, murky water. There. Napster, the music industry, which has taken such a hit.
Right.
The film business, the pirating, which has taken such a hit. It's all relative, and what we're going through, and so. But I think we're just right now we're lucky to have jobs. We're all lucky to be talking about something as positive as daytime television and soap operas.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that goes for the people behind the cameras as well, all the crew.
Oh, yeah, man. We have our local 33 and 55. I mean, there's some giants in there, man, that have been doing it for 30, plus years. They are the reason why we can get up there and put our art on the stage. If it wasn't for a collective effort, then nobody would be watching television. There wouldn't be anything to watch.
Right.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
Well, you were talking about oversaturation of television stations and stuff too, but also in daytime, not just your show, but all the shows. It seems like there's also an oversaturation of characters, and they push out the vets sometimes to give story to the younger people. But us who've watched it for 20, 30, almost 40 years, we want to see the vets, and the vets seem to be pushed aside, and we don't get to see them as much. And there's also a lot of characters going on. There's just so many storylines going on. It seems like it's gotten more confusing, or I'm just getting old and I just can't handle the multi.
You're just senile.
Yeah, apparently. It just doesn't. It's just not the same storytelling as it used to be on daytime. Particularly in Genoa City, it just seems like there's a lot going on, and it's not as level as it used to be. I really miss the passion and the romance. That's really what I miss, and I just wish I could run in there and just drop a few scripts off to bring the romance and passion back, because we had storytelling that lasted 7 months last year with the Diane murder mystery. That lasted just way too long, and I don't even know if they knew who killed Diane. And it just and we don't see enough of the Winters. There's a thing about Winter's Wednesday, but that's sad, because we should be able to see everyone in a diverse storytelling all week long, all month long. I know that there's changes being made. We've lost some cast members recently on all the shows, and I understand they need to get back to basics, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion. I've devoted 30 years into Young and Restless, and it seems like when you devote, you're like family to me. You're like a brother from another mother. I've always.
Oh, my man.
You're like my distant brother that I have grown up with since '91, and I want to see you. And I want to see your family, and we definitely don't get to see Lily enough, and we don't get to see, luckily, Devon's been on a lot. Brighton is just a fantastic actor, and he, what he's doing lately with, welcoming his father into his biological father, and the situation with his career with Angelina. I mean, I'm just so grateful to see him a lot more as well. So we just want more of you guys on there. Because, you've been...
Well, man, you are my new best friend, my bestest friend. I love it. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. I'd like to be on more, too. You don't forget, and I don't need to remind you, there are bean counters and pencil pushers behind the scenes, as well as crew members, right? But these pencil pushers look at demographics, and they look at, the 18 to 30 and the 18 to 35 and the 21 to 192. I mean, it's definitely an orchestrated game that, this is one of the reasons why you see during the summer, especially leading up to the summer and the summer, younger storylines on the shows. They know the kids are out of school, and they're hoping to get a new audience hooked to the show over the summer. As far as characters from other shows coming on our show, I mean, sometimes I've walked into work and I go, hey, I was just watching them on a competing network, and I didn't even know that they were coming on our show, and now they're on our show. And I think that's very divisive because they want to bring, again, new viewers to the show. So they're hoping that, obvious. I don't need to tell you, the obvious is that Jeannie Francis's fans from General Hospital, are going to follow her over.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why they've been trying and experimenting the new casts and then the new hires on the show. As far as getting back to the basics with the core characters that are, they've been on the show for years, we sit patiently and bide our time. And we come out of the closet at times that, I mean, this sounds kind of morose, but we come out of the closet at times, no pun intended, some holiday specials, holiday shows, stuff like that. And so that the audience says, oh yeah, they are still there, But truthfully, it's a tough job to be the captain of the ship. I wouldn't want that responsibility.
Right.
Yeah.
And, well, I'd say one of my favorite scenes recently was you singing.
Oh, right. You had to bring that up, didn't you? I knew you were going to bring that one up. That's okay. I had a good time. I mean,
That was entertainment.
Sure, and see now they're partnering, the music of Diane DeGarmo, and Sony and the show to draw in some new viewers.
Yeah.
And sell music, So everything has a plan, and I've never been more aware of it, in the last few years as the show has been, nearing this last, I don't know how many years we have, but it's definitely a treat to be part of it. It's magical, to watch it unfold.
Yeah, we had Diana DeGarmo on our show last week or 2 weeks ago, and what a great treat she is. She's so talented, but the fans, when we first heard that annoying Snooki like Jersey Shore, we're like, oh my God, why are they bringing this kind of character in? But then as she developed, and she left to go to LA, we loved her because she became a good, sweet person, and she did the right thing by Kevin and all that. But she's just such great, and people, fans of hers, like you said, tuned in and now are fans of the show because of Angelina's character on there.
Right. Yeah.
Now, can you sing in real life?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Can you sing in real life?
Yeah, sure. I can sing in the shower. Absolutely.
Will we get any new music?
Yeah, no, I'm not planning on singing anytime soon. I'll leave that to the professionals. Absolutely.
Yeah.
My daughter, Paris, who's 20, she can sing. She has some pipes. That's not me. I actually play guitar. I'm musically inclined. And I can hold a song. I can hold a note. I just, so there's some singers out there, man. I mean, so the American Idol, the X Factor, you see some real talent that are getting the chance to, get rich from it. And that is definitely not on my radar whatsoever.
Well, you hung around with some great singers, Gladys Knight, Smokey Robinson, Tony Orlando, Diane Carroll. I mean, all of those people, nothing rubbed off on you, huh?
It's funny. I dated for 3 years. I almost married Della Reese's stepdaughter, Dominique. And, I would go and listen to Della sing at her church quite often every Sunday, and what an amazing voice she has. But, yeah, I've been fortunate and been able to work with some very good people, very legendary people, Gladys Knight.
Definitely.
She played my mama in a television series years ago called Charlie and Company. Flip Wilson was dad, Gladys was mom, and Jaleel White, Urkel, was my little brother. And we had high hopes for that show. That show was a CBS network show that was put on because they had originally passed on The Cosby Show. And the guy who had passed on The Cosby Show, needless to say, ended up, unemployed at CBS.
Yeah.
But Charlie and Company was an answer to The Cosby Show. And, man, we did 18 episodes, and we were done. Unfortunately, we had a good time doing it.
Well, you did get to go on an episode or so of The Cosby Show as well, so that was good.
I did, yeah. That's when the Cosby Show was running number one that year. Well, it ran number one every episode it was on. But, working with Cos and Lisa Bonet and Felicia Rashad, I mean, it's real, again, legendary, status, man. The Cos, just watching him he's a comedic genius. And
he is.
Just, again, been so fortunate in my career to meet up with some real talent, so I've been blessed.
Well, I can't go any further with speaking about co-stars without bringing up Shamar Moore, because right now on my television, Criminal Minds is on, and I'm thinking, how coincidental that your ex-co-star is right here on my television as I'm talking to Neil Winters. We miss him so much on Young and Restless. There was a big change when Darius came on to play Malcolm, because we grew up, becoming loving the sexy, suave, smooth Malcolm Winters. So it was so different when Darius came because he brought a different dynamic to.
What are you trying to say? That my brother Darius isn't sexy, suave, or smooth? What are you trying to say?
In a different way.
In a different way.
Darius on you. Darius, stop. What's happening, man? Did they talk about you, D? No, man. Yeah, look. Well, first of all, I mean, on the Darius topic, man, what big shoes to fill. I mean,
right?
You know, short of filling Drusilla's shoes or Victor Newman's shoes, I mean, that's a pretty tough askance. And when I heard about them bringing back the character, I was, immediately caught with the feeling that, well, they're going to try to find a real pretty boy. And, they shouldn't make the mistake of trying to go for a look-alike,
right.
As long as they find somebody that. And so then I heard through the grapevine that they were going opposite. Not saying that my dude D ain't a pretty boy. He's just a totally different type. We know what we're talking about when we call pretty boys or whatever. So bottom line is, it said they were going quite the reverse. They wanted to make people forget all about Shamar Moore, which is an impossible thing to do. Girls, they ain't going to forget about Shamar Moore, man. And so when they had the casting call, I remember I was called in to read with the actors, and, they had about, I'd say it got down to a top 4, and none of them resembled Shamar whatsoever, not at all. And, Darius came in and did a thing that just so cold. And for those of you who don't know what so cold means so good, so cold, that blew the room away. It was a very tough audition scene. And when he left there, I think they all knew that Darius was the one to play the role. And it's done quite a bit in daytime. A character either leaves and they have to recast. This was a harsh, to say the least, for the fans. Because you can't replace a Shamar, you can't replace a Victoria Rowell. It's next to impossible. It's probably better to eliminate the character altogether. I don't know at this point whether the fans feel like they would rather see, a new actress play the role of Drusilla just to have the character back on the canvas, or completely eliminate it and keep her dead. And I have a feeling that people would rather keep her dead than to see someone new come in and try to breathe that role.
Yeah, well, I have to tell you that I would never, ever imagine anybody else playing Neil Winters but you. Never.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. The reason why my character is easier to replace is because it's a businessman, right? And there's a lot of cold brothers out there in business. The characters of Drew and Shamar, were so far extreme one way and so far extreme the other. That ghetto-wise street, sense with the sophistication that they were both able to bring, and so they were able to toe the fence or ride the fence, and that worked well. But I appreciate you saying that. I love hearing you.
I mean it from the heart. I mean it from the heart. I'll be throwing a big fit if that ever happened.
Well,
everybody would hear me. Like everybody would hear me.
It's really hard when there is a recast. When there's a quick recast, such as Chris Ingen and Michael Mooney, where it was just like literally within the next episode, that's really shocking. But then, when you have someone like come in years later to play a legendary role, such as, Drusilla or, Shamar Moore's role, it's even more shocking, I think, because, you're used to it. But when it's, when Adam Newman was recasted, we'd just gotten used to one actor, and then bam, we got a new actor coming in. But now Michael Mooney is just fantastic, and he's doing great, and he's the only Adam Newman I can think of now.
Right.
So yeah, I can't imagine anybody, and I wouldn't want anybody to even try to recast you, because that means you'd be off my screen, and I don't appreciate that. So they better talk to us first.
My man, you're going to be my agent too, so I'm signing you up.
We can do PR work, let me tell you.
Yeah, we literally work like 8 hours a day on our show, trying to, to not only do the research for the guests, but trying to get the guests and try to show that we're a legit show and not just some, knuckleheads trying to, talk to cast members. We're really trying to, make a movement here and try to save your jobs, because we want to be entertained for years to come. So that's why Pam and I joined forces and brought the show to life, because, there's a few other shows out there, and we're all got the same, core values that we all want to keep you guys around as long as possible. And you want to work, and you got a mortgage and stuff. You want to work too.
This is true. Yep. Soap actors got to eat too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to ask one question from one fan that couldn't call in because she's at the Heat game again. Doug, I think you probably know who this is.
Oh, yeah.
This is coming from Tracy Ann Blair, and she wants to know, after all of your years on Y&R, what has been your favorite storyline?
Tracy and Blair, thanks for the question. And my favorite storyline on the show to date would have to be the romancing of Neil's romancing of the character of Drusilla, and it was a real push and pull, tug of war fight. The two characters diametrically opposed, one from the street and one sophisticated and educated. And so I think when Neil finally saw Drusilla dance and do her ballet, it got him twisted, honestly. And that was my favorite show, the very beginning, the first few years, because that's when family started developing, the Winters family. So thanks for that question. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'm sure she'll appreciate that answer too. She really wishes she could be here.
Yeah, she's a huge supporter. Thank you, Trace, for that. If you can just put Neil's hat on for a second, and I'm talking Neil Winters for a second. Is Drusilla the love of Neil's life? Is Drusilla the love of Neil's life?
Is that a real question? Because the real answer is, come on, man, absolutely, 1,000,000,000%. I mean, those two, as opposite as they were, they were the soulmates. They're absolutely soulmates, and super couple status. Yeah, sure. I mean, we had a nice run, but absolutely, and that's why it's so tough for the fans to watch as Neil, piddles around trying to figure out his romantic life and keeps coming up short.
Right.
I must say, Julia is fantastic. Her character, Sophia, she's a beautiful, vibrant, beautiful lady, and I love her. But it's so hard to picture you with Neil with anybody in Drusilla. But I will say, when you were flirting with, there was 2 times that I kind of was like, okay, I can dig this. And this is when Neil was with Heather Tom's portrayal of Victoria Newman, and then also with Leslie Michelson. Because that actress that plays Leslie is one beautiful, beautiful lady. And I thought, okay. At first I thought, maybe this is Drusilla and she's back and she's had a facelift or something. I thought, maybe, one can dream. But those two roles.
Conwell,
yeah.
She's just Conwell, Leslie, and she's a sweetheart. And what a beautiful lady, man. And an actress. I'm sorry that they let that part of that story go as well. I thought that they were leading somewhere, and then it was pulled. Don't know why, and didn't ask. So, but I just had I just did a job with Angela about 6-7 months ago. A pilot that my buddy Bentley Kyle Evans executive produced. He was the showrunner, executive producer for the Jamie Foxx show, The Martin Show, and he called me and asked me to do this pilot. Something called Family Time, and so I did the pilot, and now he sold it to, I want to say it's a company. The network's called Bounce. BLUNCE, Bounce. It's called Family Time. So look for it out there. It should be pretty good.
Oh, perfect. Well, I could talk about Neil all day long because, every time we do these interviews with people, I forget that we're on air. I just feel like I'm talking to an old friend that I've known forever and I'm just catching up with. So, but we do have fans that are wanting to talk to you, and so if we can go ahead and take some fan calls, then we will move on to that portion before we close up.
Okay, sure. I would love to, man. Let's bring on the fans.
All right. Up first is David. David, you're on with Kristoff. Go ahead.
Hey, Kristoff. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good.
I'm doing good.
Right. What's happening?
I'm doing good, sir.
Good.
I've enjoyed you for years.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Where are you from?
I'm in the upstate New York area, outside of Albany.
Okay, got you. I'm originally not too far from you, Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Oh, really?
Yep, that was my stomping ground, at least for the first 4 years of my life, 5 years.
That sounds cool. I got a question for you, sir.
Okay, what is it? Shoot.
What have you learned from each of your leading ladies?
Very tough question. I think because there's been, I shamelessly say there's been so many, but there hasn't been that many. You learn something different from each and every one. I mean, you know, with Victoria, I learned a lot about going after the organic reality and drama and comedy of a scene. Because we were able to work with each other so long, I think we got to know each other, you know, our instruments so well, and that's what we are. You know, as actors, we're just merely instruments. You know, there's been a lot of them. I mean, Jonelle Allen, who was on Generations, she taught me about patience, not rushing scenes. Vivica Fox taught me a lot about patience as well, because we got into our little tiffs and fights in the beginning when we first started working with each other. But yeah, there's been a lot. You know, it's a pretty broad question. How's that answer for you, though?
You have, thanks. Oh, and I have to tell you, one of my favorite scenes that I remember you is when Scott Reeves' character was killed and how you mourned for him. That was just awesome.
David, that was that was a tough scene to tape. Scott and I were very close friends off the show as well. We used to frequent each other's houses, etc., families, and so when he was let go, his character was killed. It was a sad time. So that was probably a lot of true emotion in there. But appreciate you saying that, David.
Well, you're very welcome, sir. Yep. Thank you, Kristoff.
Thank you. Thank you for watching the show, and keep watching us.
All right.
I shall.
Thanks, David.
Thank you, David.
All right. Up next is Donna. Donna, go ahead.
Oh, hey, Kristoff. How are you? I didn't realize I was second already. I was sitting here thinking I was going to wait forever. How are you?
Donna, I'm doing splendid today. Yeah, waiting forever. I know what you like, but so you got on pretty quick, huh?
I did. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't realize I was second. Good. It's so good to talk to you. I've been watching the show since I was like 5, so it's been forever.
Well, nice talking to you too. What's your favorite stuff that's going on in the show right now? Just give me a heads up.
Oh, for right now? Oh, wow. Yeah. I don't know.
Wow.
You say everything.
Everything, yes, everything. But I do like to see, I love your scenes with Julia, and I'm going to have to say, couldn't Neil have lied to her a little bit? I mean, to outright tell her he just didn't love her, I was like, oh, really, Neil?
Yeah, I know, right? This was a lose-lose situation for Neil. If you think about it.
Right.
Look at it. I very, very rarely use the word character assassination, and I shouldn't use it here as much as just to explain that it was a lose-lose thing. You know, he has, for lack of a better term, sexual intercourse with his brother's wife. Is it based on revenge? Could have been some of it, but there was a real mutual attraction because of their business life. And so what happens? I mean, she gets pregnant, and the kid happens to be Neil's. You know, he does the noble, honorable thing, so he thinks, and asks her hand in marriage so that the baby can be raised, you know, in a two-parent household. It's honorable and noble, but we all know that there's going to be, you know, the big fall. And that's the thing with soaps. And that's the thing with drama. I mean, there would be no drama if they got along famously You know,
right.
they fell in love and they lived happily ever after. There'd be no drama there.
Right. When she pulled out those divorce
nice
papers, I was like, "You go, girl! You throw those divorce papers in his face."
So Neil has to end up turning into a cad, so to speak. So that's at least what fans are feeling, that
right.
he would eliminate this beautiful person out of his life because he now has these feelings for harmony.
Right, and you and Debbie Morgan do have great chemistry. You really, really do. You guys do a great job.
Oh, thank you. We enjoy it, man. I appreciate you saying that. We have a good time on set.
Right. Well, my question for you is real quickly. Have you ever, I guess you kind of, when you said you had done a pilot, but have you ever thought about doing anything on the side outside of The Young and the Restless? Because I know, like, when Billy Miller did Ringer, it was great seeing him do something besides playing Billy Abbott. He was so great on that show. And is that something you ever thought about doing something on the side outside of The Young and the Restless?
Well, sure. As an actor, you always want to work. And
right.
There's been some time over the years that, I love to work outside of the show. And I do. It's just they're few and far between. I'm currently, I just finished post-production on a documentary that's about my family and a certain incident that happened many, many, many years ago. It has to do with the occult and, religion and spiritualism, etc. So I just finished doing that, as well as, I like to write. I have some original material that I've been trying to sell, as many actors have, trying to produce and direct on the side. So, if given the chance, then maybe you'll see a project that I'm behind, that I've written, that I've produced, that I've directed. That's really where I'm trying to focus my...
awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
Well,
Well,
thank you,
great
Donna.
talking to you. Thanks for taking my call. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Donna.
Okay, bye. Take good care.
Bye.
All right. Up next is area code 404. I didn't get your name. Go ahead.
This is Brian. I called earlier, but my phone got disconnected.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome back. You're on with Kristoff. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, Kristoff. I want to first off say that you are a soap opera legend. I know that you've been on CBS for a long time, and, along with Victor Newman and Jack Abbott, you're a soap opera legend in my mind. But I wanted to ask you...
Thank you for saying that. Those are powerful words, man. Thank you, brother.
You're welcome. I wanted to ask you, how was it working? How's it been working with Devon through the hearing loss storyline, and also with him being Richie from Family Matters that used to come on, and also how was it working through the storyline with Lily when she had cancer?
What was the first part of the question? How's it working with who?
Devon, when he had the hearing loss on the Young and the Restless.
Right, of course.
Richie from Family Matters.
Yeah, of course. Well, that particular storyline, Brighton James, the actor who plays Devon, and I love my boy Brighton, man. We just, we were so lucky to have him, and he actually has given storylines to the Young and the Restless to do with his hearing, or to do with that particular implant device. That was a story, though, initialized by Victoria Rowell, and she, I think, written out some very concise storyline information about, adopting a young man, a young boy, and partly because of her passion for her foundation. And It was kind of a labor of love. We all on it and just couldn't happy to, a controversial, medically uplifting story to the general public. And Brighton played that beautifully, man. And we just did a wraparound storyline with a medical procedure that was done on Devon that I'm sure a lot of fans saw, where, he was able to remove the cochlear implant. And, these are the kind of storylines that Bill Bell Sr. would be so proud of. You know, that real, gripping, beautiful, you know, information like that, you know, and thank God for telling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it helped a lot of people on the outside, too, that were watching the show that didn't know anything about it.
Are you still there? You're cutting in and out.
Yeah, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Cutting in and out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, there you go. I got you back. Okay.
I was saying that I think it probably helped a lot of people in real life that didn't know about the operation and the implants and such, you know, that they can go ahead and get that done.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you know, for a lot of folks, television becomes their newspaper. And they may not watch the news, but, you know, they may be watching our soap and find a story that hits close to home. You know, and again, anytime you delve into the medical world and procedures that are, you know, new and new technology, that's exciting, you know, to be able to be a part of that. I know we were going back as far as the 70s or the 80s, and Jeannie Cooper did a facelift on the show.
Yeah, I remember that.
So this is just one of the many storylines that have been par for the course for being number one for as long as we have, I guess.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
Well, thank you, Brian, for that question. Up next is area code 973. Go ahead. You're on with Kristoff.
Hi, this is Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
Did you say hi, Kathy? How are you, Kathy?
Oh, good. How are you?
I'm doing just fine today. Thanks. What's happening with you?
Oh, this is so exciting. I'm talking to Neil Winters. I remember you when you first came on the show. I've been watching the show for over 20 years.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's been a minute, man.
Yeah.
It feels like yesterday.
Oh, I love you, Dirk. Yeah. Hello?
Are you there?
I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm sorry. You were breaking in and out. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What's your question for Kristoff?
Oh, the actress Morgan, are they trying to bring her back like Drusilla?
Are they trying to bring back Drusilla? Are you asking?
No, and make Debbie like Drusilla.
Oh, to make Debbie Morgan like Drusilla?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
her character.
No, they're not. They're not trying to make Debbie Morgan into Drusilla. It's just, it's another female African American character that's been cast to bring interaction with the rest of the cast, and it's obvious that it's not just for the African American storyline, and it's not necessarily an African American storyline as much as, dare I say, a Winters storyline, but that isn't. I don't know.
Because I've read articles in the film magazines about them trying to get Drusilla back, but I don't know if it's the powers that be that don't want her back yet, or she doesn't want to come back yet, or.
I couldn't really hear that. Say it one more time.
I read in some magazines how Victoria Rowell wants to come back. I don't know if they're ready for her to come back. So they have a storyline for her.
If I understand you correctly, your question is about Victoria Rowell and possible return. I don't know. You know, Vicky, she's been in conference with the, and I haven't spoken to her in quite some time. I do know that, she's a fan favorite. I mean, we all know that. And, I mean, Stevie Wonder can see that. So, bottom line is her return is up to the network, CBS, Sony, and up to Victoria and her management. So if they can, if they're in conference and they work out a deal, you'll see a return. I don't know anything about a return, though, right now.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Well, thank you
keep
so
up
much.
the good work. Okay.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and keep watching the show.
All right. Thank you, Kathy. All right. We're going to wrap up here in a few. Let's go ahead and take a call from 585. Go ahead. You're on with Kristoff.
Hi, Kristoff. My name's Pam.
Hi. How you doing today?
Good. I've been writing to you for quite a while.
I can barely hear you. Can you say it again?
I said I've been writing to you for quite a while. And my question was, career-wise, is there something that you haven't done that you would like to do?
Is there something that I what?
Is there something you haven't done that you would like to do?
It's too bad. This is a bad connection on the phone. I think you said, is there something that I'd like to do that I haven't done yet? Is that what you said?
Right, yes.
Sure, I'd like to see Neil start his own business and, be one of the corporate warring giants along with Victor and with Catherine and, doesn't necessarily have to be an African-American-based company, but I thought often that he should be at the helm of his very own company. It makes sense since he learned everything he knows from Victor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Even if he got into a battle with Victor.
Yeah, that'd be nice to see. I kind of miss those storylines where you used to go head-to-head with Victor.
Yeah, that would be nice, man. We had it for a quick minute, and then they dissolved it. But seems like everyone at some point does battle with Victor, right?
Yeah. Well, go ahead and take one last call if you got time.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Pam, for that question. I know we're having connection issues, so I do apologize for that. Area code 515, you're on with Kristoff. Go ahead.
Hi, Kristoff. My name is Joan. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How are you tonight?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. What can I do for you tonight? What would you like to know?
Well, first of all, I'd just like to say this has just been a wonderful interview. Just hearing you speak about so many different things has been just terrific. And I'm just curious. I've been watching the show since before you were on it, so ever since you started, and I really can't pick a favorite time or episode or a story arc that's my favorite. I was just curious if you had a favorite one since you've been on the show, and why.
Yeah, I've had a few of them. I talked about one earlier where my character romanced Drusilla, the courting of Drusilla. But
that was wonderful. Yeah, I remember that.
Thank you. I've got to go back to more recent years, 2005-06, when Neil decided to go basically rogue. He left everything. He decided he was going to open a jazz club, Indigo. He started dressing differently. He got out of the suits and started wearing Kanye West type of clothes. I don't know why. He flipped out for a minute. And he was just trying to find himself. And so that particular year, that was when the Carmen Mesta murder was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And that was nice to see that different side of you, as the actor in the show itself, because you generally played pretty much the same person all along that dressed the same way. So that was really nice to see, that rogue side, I guess, of Neil. So we appreciate that as fans.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you watching the show for as long as you have, and keep watching it. Hopefully we got some years to go.
Oh, I will never give up, and I will keep supporting Doug and Pam and their to keep the soaps alive. So I am very much a fan of that as well.
Oh,
well, thank you so much. We'll change the phrase from keep hope alive to keep soaps alive.
Right. That's awesome. That's perfect. There's the new tagline.
Well, thank you so much, Joan.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Kristoff, for talking to me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. You have a wonderful life.
You too.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Our last call of the night is area code 704. You're on with Kristoff.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks so much, Kristoff, for talking to me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hello, area code 704.
You too.
Okay. Hey, 704. Are you there? Are you there, 704?
Well, let me try one more time.
Hello.
I don't know what's going on? Yeah,
are
704. You're. Yep, there she is.
Can you hear me?
I hear someone. Yes, I hear your voice. Who are you? What's your name?
My name is Kelly, and I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I follow you on Twitter and give you a hard time here and there.
Kelly, what's your name on Twitter?
Kelly NC Mom.
Kelly NC Mom. Yeah, I know who you are.
Yeah, you picked on me a few times too.
Oh, cool. That's great. Well, nice to meet you on the phone like this. We know each other in Twizzle land.
Yes, and it's so awesome. Like the last caller, I have been watching you. I'm in my 40s, and I've been watching Young and the Restless since I was in elementary school. And I love it, and I love that it is still on. And every day I worry about it with the way that the soaps have been kind of dying off. And how do you feel about that?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit earlier in the show, and how do I feel about it? Well, it's disappointing to be part of a genre that is, it seems like it has a limited lifespan now. Not seems, but it does. I mean, let's face it, folks. You know, we're watching the shows, the soaps fall like dead flies, and you know, it's just a sign of the times of, dare I say, network television becoming more and more obsolete. Cable has become more powerful, you know, with the advent of satellite and TiVo. You know, the fact that we can record our shows and video on demand and watch whenever we want, as opposed to many, many years ago, we had what we call appointment television. I mean, I remember Sunday night at the movies, and I remember the music. And, man, I used to look forward to that because I wanted to hear the music. And even if the subject matter wasn't good for me to watch because my parents would send me in my room and I'd listen through the door anyway, I looked forward to appointment television. You know, we do not have that anymore.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
That's really, you know, at the crux of it. And it's saddening, and, you know, I hope that soaps can somehow find a home elsewhere, whether it's the Internet, you know, in some webisode type series, or, you know, maybe there'll be a resurgence if we look at things like game shows that come and go. You know, they're hot for a minute, and then they're dead, and then all of a sudden one game show hits, and they're all copying them. Will the same happen with soap operas? Very well could. I mean, we're watching Dallas now, you know, on prime time.
Coming back.
And that's a big soap comeback, man. You know, I think Young and the Restless, you know, is good enough to end up on primetime television. I mean, if they were to really take it seriously and, you know, nurture the audience even that much more and give it, they used to do primetime telecasts on the show years ago, you know, it was a very special occasion. But, like I said, it's disappointing, but there's nothing we can do about it. You know, we enjoy it, celebrate it, because it's been a wonderful ride, you know, for me personally. I'll speak for me. And, you know, to be at the end of it, dare I say again, at the end of it all, is quite, you know, honorable. So
it's been great. I had the opportunity a lot to sit with my grandparents. They called Young and the Restless their stories, and on their 50th wedding anniversary, they had T-shirts made. It was so cute that said, 50 is nifty and still feeling, and on the back of their shirt said, feeling young and the restless. So they've both passed since then, but, you know, if they were alive in this day and age with Twitter and whatnot, they would just be beside themselves. Having a blast. So I'm sure that, you know, I'm hoping anyway that it goes on as long as, you know, my grandparents watched it. I've been watching it. Now I see my 9-year-old sneaking around the corner to watch it, and I'm like, she knows everyone's names, and sometimes I have to cover her eyes. It's pretty funny. But.
Well, you said it. I mean, just the fact that you're talking about it's a generational thing. It all started many, many, many years ago, back in the, you know, 30s, 40s, radio, and then, you know, it was passed on from grandma to mom to the daughter. I mean, and these characters that have lived with us for so many years. We're coming up on 40 years next year. You know, I don't know what I don't know what the longest running soap has been. It was 50 plus. But you know, that's a heck of a feat, man. You know, and that's I think the saddest part is that it's such a generational thing that is it going to stop? Is it going to stop here? And they're going to say, oh, yeah, once upon a time, soap operas ruled the day. Now they are no more. And there's going to be a little section of a museum, in homage to us. Who knows? But let's enjoy it while we got it, people. We still got it.
Well, if they're going to pay homage to it somewhere, it would be good if they put it next to Erna Phillips, who started all this.
Right, of course. The Giants, the Titans, man. Agnes Nixon, Irma Phillips, Bill Bell, the Corday family. Yeah. I mean, there's been some real powerhouses, that have overseen shows, and we've had the privilege to witness it. So let's be happy.
Right.
Next month we're going to have Laura Lee Bell on the show. So that's going to be a great a time to talk to her because she comes from the legendary Bell family, the dynamic that started the whole thing for us fans. So we'll be able to talk with her. I bet it's been nice to see her back on the set recently with her filming her scenes. Yeah,
man, Laura Lee is that's my buddy. She's such a wonderful and mother and entrepreneur with her clothing business, and it's always good to see Laura Lee on the set. It makes me feel like when I first started on the show.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
And Bill Sr. would come down to the set and sit there and watch production. Sometimes it was special when he did, but nevertheless, that's what Laura Lee reminds me of the family royalty that the Bell family has, and what a wonderful thing to be a part of that. Again, the word dynasty.
Right.
Be a part of that dynasty and accepted into that family fold.
Right.
And she's never too far away. She may not appear on the screen that much, but man, we see her at events and her children growing, and that's the other thing. We've all been able to watch our children go from birth basically to now they're regular people, human beings, man, walking around as adults, functioning, doing their own thing. And, that's what seeing Laura Lee reminds me of.
Yeah. Well, Kristoff, I must say thank you so much for spending this time with us and staying over to take some more calls with us. It's been a pleasure. I'm so thankful I was able to meet you for that skinny minute down in Tampa. I'm back in Indiana now. So I will, as long as there's a fan event next year like there normally is every other year, Pam and I will be there some way, somehow, so we can come and see you all in person again.
Fantastic. I had a great time tonight. Sorry that we had a delay with the cell phone, but I feel like we our mission accomplished, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, and we'll invite you back on at the end of the year to catch up with whatever is going on in Neil Winter's world and your world if you've got any other projects that you're working on. And you can. You were cutting out a little bit earlier. I didn't know if you heard from other castmates that's been on the show with us or not. But if you can tell any castmates that we're got good intentions to come on our show, we would love it because we're trying to please the fans by bringing all our fan favorites on, because not everybody's on Twitter and Facebook like how we reach out to a lot of people. So getting the harder ones to get are the tough ones. And so if you can just pass along that we're a good team that's trying to help out, then we would appreciate that too.
Absolutely, be more than happy to spread the word and good tidings, man. And appreciate your time.
Don't forget to tell Shamar too.
Absolutely, I will tell Shamar more, man, that you're hunting, that you're gunning for him, that you're waiting for him.
Yeah, we're waiting for him with bated breath. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us. I actually was going to have a surprise caller tonight, but she couldn't make it. Your on-screen, soon-to-be ex-wife, Julia, was going to call in and surprise you, but she couldn't make it. So tell her that we will get her soon. She's going to be on our show in July, I believe. So we were going to surprise you, but it didn't happen. So surprise, but...
okay. Well, I will. I'll see her on set, and it won't be a surprise now.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
All right. Thank you. All right, people. Have a good life. Appreciate it. We'll
you
talk
too.
soon.
God bless.
Take care. All right.
Bye-bye. Despite the technical difficulties, we were able to complete the conquest of having Neil Winters on with us. Kristoff is funny. He's got a great chemistry and humorous. I enjoyed that with him. When I met him in this earlier this year at the fan event, he was just so funny. Him and Daniel Goddard are just too funny together, and that's why I can't wait to get Daniel Goddard on here as well, because he's hysterical as well. What did you think of the interview?
Oh, well, we could have talked all night as usual.
I know. I always look down at the screen and I was like, oh my God, it's 10 till the hour's up, and we still had all those calls on the phone on the hold. Because I just kind of, and even though we started like 10 minutes late, by the time you're talking, I mean, like I say every time, I forget that we're talking to someone on the air. I just feel like I'm catching up with old friends and family. So
exactly. But it was wonderful. I mean, and I feel like the callers do, like, wow, we got Neil Winters on the phone, So, callers and people listening and people in the chat, we feel the same way you do. So never be afraid to call in and say hello. I mean, it's really, they're so down to earth, and I think you've listened to enough shows to see that, they're more than willing to speak with you, and they're happy to do it.
Yeah, and that's why we do the show. I mean, there's supposed to be a half the show interview, half the show callers, but it just gets away with us when there's so much more. I wanted to talk to him about Neil's history, because Neil has such a diverse storyline from inception of his character until now, and I could have talked all night. And I wanted to get in and talk to you about Roots as well, because that was a legendary story, TV film that he did, that he was a part of, and I wanted to talk about Generations a little bit more. So we'll just have to have him back and talk more about it. But
most definitely.
Yeah, definitely don't think that you can't call in. Even if you don't have a question, some of you have even called in over our shows and just wanted to say hi. If you just want to say hi, I mean, that's all you have to do. You don't want to ask those questions because you think you're nervous. Try doing this. I mean, we've been doing this for almost 6 months now, and you should see I'm sweating up a storm right here on my couch. Because it's just so, like, I have to contain myself. I try not to be a fanboy and go like, oh, my God.
I know.
I have to be professional. And,
I know.
It's tough because I'm trying to, bring these people to you guys. But anyway, a great show, great interview, great talent tonight. If you're not busy tomorrow, we don't have a big superstar on, but he's also actually a superstar in behind the scenes of getting your dreams to come true when you go to soap opera events. His name is Jason Spitzer, and he'll be with us, and he's going to talk about behind the scenes of creating soap opera events. He's an ex-actor. He used to act as well, and he's going to touch base and talk to us for, an hour or more about behind the scenes. So if you want to come in and just listen to some juicy, good behind-the-scenes gossip from your favorite daytime soaps, definitely come and check us out tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern with Jason Spitzer. And then Friday, we've added Kyle Lauder onto the show, who played recently Rick Forrester on Bold and the Beautiful, and he played Brady Black for many years on Days of Our Lives. He is now on Divinity, the web series, so we'll be talking about that as well. So definitely tune in for our special Friday edition of our show with Kyle.
And if you're ever unsure of our schedule, or if you want to listen to the previous podcasts or anything like that, just go to our website, thesoapseries.com, and everything's on there.
Yes, definitely go to soapseries.com, and everything's on the left now because I revamped the website. So all your links, just click on the left-hand side. You can go to listen to all our previous shows, look and see the dates of our upcoming shows, watch the latest promo by clicking on latest promo at the top. You can click that and watch the promo that I create every couple of weeks for our new guests. We have a great lineup in June, so I'm really excited about that. We're almost out of dates for June, but we're almost got a couple more dates to give you guys and some special guests that we're adding to the show in June.
Oh, you know what? Before I forget, also to all of you Secret Circle fans, I did invite one of the actors from that show to be on our show. And he's going to be on Drop Dead Diva for this season. I think it's only for one show, though. But he did say that he's going to try to work it out. He has to see what publicity has in store for him. And he's Adam J. Harrington. But he is giving thought, and hopefully will be on our show soon. He wants to work something out. So hopefully we can get more of the Secret Circle actors on as well.
Yeah, and we're branching out to to primetime as well. So if there's anybody that you want on our show from primetime, just let us know, and we'll see what we can do behind the scenes
or
to get
tweet
them on the
yourself.
show. Yeah, or tweet them yourself. I mean, that's some people have said, that we bug people and tweet people, and that's not good and all this. But you know what? You're not who you okay, let me see how I want to phrase this. You got to be self-motivated, self-made. Look at Perez Hilton, for example. He is known across the world for creating a blog and going out and getting the gossip and getting the news and stuff. Well, we're going out there, not to compare, but I'm just saying in relation to that, there's no other way besides social media, to get them unless we get in contact with their producers and managers and stuff like that. So going through management is a lot harder than just asking
Very hard.
themselves. And we've gotten our door slammed on us on a lot of interviews that we really were hoping for, and that's just because of the management. So when we ask them on Twitter or Facebook or DMs, privately, they're more than happy. So it's kind of tough when there's certain people that you guys really want that I don't think we're ever going to get unless they get on Twitter or Facebook. I won't say any names, but there's some very famous people that you guys want that you've been begging for, and I don't know how to do it unless I go to L.A. or New York and go knock on their door. So anyway, and we're reaching out into primetime as well to see if we can add that to our genre starting in July going forward, because I really want to be able to have a variety of people on the show, because we've been on the show on the air 4 or 5, sometimes even 6 nights a week for months now, and that's great. But in essence, we are going to run out of people at a time if we keep doing 30 people a month. So we're going to just be revamping it and spreading out to primetime and kind of mixing things up and trying to not be on so much, because I don't want to become like October and then you guys don't have nobody to listen to. And we're sitting here going, okay, I guess Pam and I will just talk about each other. Hey, how about I have Pam on the show tonight? Tonight, Pam Powers is on live with Doug on the soap series. I mean, I don't want it to get to that point. So we've built a big foundation. We just hit our almost 35,000 listeners so far. So we're doing really good with that. So now that we've got the name out there and we've worked hard, now we can just go back to go to not being on all the time. So that way we can have a variety of people, because I don't want everybody that I personally want all on right now, and then 6 months from now I don't have anybody to look forward to. So I want to be able to spread it out, and then we're also always are going to invite people back. For example, we've had Michael Damian, Tracy Bregman, and Catherine Kelly Lane come back for 2 times now, and we're also having Texas Battle come back next month for a contest giveaway that he's working on and a calendar that he's working on. So people are coming back, which is great, and that gives the callers a chance who didn't get to call in the first time. So things are changing, but in a good way to make sure there's longevity. We're working on getting another year purchased and paid for so we can be on for another year, and we want to be able to give you entertainment for that year. If we pay for a year and then we don't have anybody on the show, then that's not worth the money. I want to be able to. I don't want to be here I don't want to be a show that lasts 6 months and then bam, we're gone, and then somebody else creates another phenomenon or whatever. So I want to be able to be in longevity and be around for years to come, because in the event down the road that soaps are no longer with us, I want our show to be established enough so we can have prime time and web series and reality stars. And well, I don't even know why I said reality stars, because I don't really want. There's not one reality star. I know. I don't know why. I didn't mean that. I mean maybe like the winner of Big Brother or something like that, but nothing like somebody that's like. I'm not definitely never want to Kardashian on my show. But yeah, I want to be able to have the audience to know that they can always tune into us on every week for our show. So I know we've thrown a lot of great guests at you, and we got another whole month packed full of guests, and I'm really excited to see who we can get in the future. Every guest that we have, Pam and I are just sitting here afterwards going, oh my gosh, that was so awesome. We learned so much about the cast. Even if you don't know the person, like last night, I'll be honest, I did not know who Andrea Bogart was. I never watched General Hospital. I did not know who she played. I didn't know anything about her, but for that hour and a half I was on the phone, I was able to learn a lot about her, and she was fantastic. And you get to learn the behind the scenes of the soap operas, learn about what they're working on, currently, personal stories, like we learned that she's a distant relative of Humphrey Bogart, So it's just really cool. So if you don't really know the actor, just come and chat in the chat room or listen just to see, behind the scenes. And that's why I suggest coming to the shows that we have with certain people on. We've had Nelson Bronco on the show, and he's well known in the soap world. We have Michael Fairman coming on next week. We have Jason Spitzer tomorrow. We have the author of the Bill Bell book biography that's coming on, Michael Maloney, on in 2 weeks. So we have a lot of people who may not be stars in front of the camera, but they help provide behind-the-scenes information for the fans as well. So it's just really an education and learning. So I really hope we can, take off with the primetime series. And the two people that I want right now, more than anybody, is Gabriel Mann and Emily Van Camp from Revenge. I want them so bad. So tweet them, email them, tie a note on a pigeon and send it this way. I want them to be on my show because that's my favorite show of the last TV season. Okay, well, I've rambled enough. I'm tired, and I'm ready to go get me something to drink because my mouth is thirsty.
A cotton ball?
Yeah, it's like a big cotton ball, and I'm ready to go get me something thirsty to drink, something, whatever. I don't even know what I'm saying. Anyway, check out thesoapseries.com for all the latest, and you can just I'll just edit out all my rambling. But I hope you understood what I was saying. That's what I was trying to make a point, but I don't know if I made it. But anyway, there's probably nobody even left listening to me, and I'm talking to just Pam. So, Pam, and you're typing, so you're not even listening to me. So I'm just talking to myself. So I should just host the show all by myself with no listeners and no guests and just talk to myself.
Doug, you're crazy.
Maybe when I revamp my show, The Digital Futon, when I revamp it, I'll just host it by myself, so I won't have any drama with co-hosts, and I will just talk to myself and all my different personalities. It'll be like the Sybil Show.
Yeah.
You never know who's going to come on to host. It could be Happy Doug or Sad Doug or Depressed Doug or Crazy Doug or Psycho Killer Doug. Oh, no, that's Ricky from Young and the Restless. Never mind.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you so much for listening. You guys are great. Thanks for all the love on the show, in the chat room and everything, and thanks for listening to my rambling. I'm just filling up time, space, and anyway, thank you, Pam. Do you have anything to say since I took all your...
No, I think you got it all.
Okay. Well, yeah, so, see you tomorrow night for Jason Spitzer. You can follow him at Jason_Spitzer, and you can follow Kyle Lowder at Kyle Lowder22 on Twitter. And we will see you tomorrow.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Have a good night, and God bless. You too,
all
Doug.
Right. Okay. Well, with that being said, let's dance. Bye. You're dancing in your seat.
It's intermission time, folks, so hurry, hurry, hurry. The show starts in 1 minute.
It does. I thought the show was over. What are you talking about?
And now, on with the show.
And with that being said, good night, everybody.